Hi, I'm Chris Reykdal, Superintendent of Public Instruction for the state of Washington. I just want to start with a huge thank you. It's spring. There's only like 9 or 10 weeks in most school district calendars left. It feels like a sprint this time of year. We've been very busy ourselves here at OSPI supporting districts, and we just wrapped up a 105-day legislative session. And wow, were there some significant investments made by our legislature. I'm going to go through those today. That's kind of the substance of the message today is what were those big items? Where did we have success? Where are we going to keep putting our energy in the future? I mostly want to say thank you to all of you. Our policymakers care deeply about public ed. I get to go into buildings and into communities and watch you do your amazing work and translate that energy to our policymakers. It matters a ton. So thank you for your work. Let's get into all the exciting things that happened. So let's get after it here a little bit. First and foremost, personnel. We cannot deliver great public education without great people in our classrooms, in our buildings, everywhere in our school system. It really requires folks who are committed and passionate to learning and really making sure that system works for all students. So thanks, everybody. The legislature's recognized that with inflationary increases for the next couple of years. A big priority of ours is, while other states are really struggling with educator retention, both in the classroom and in other parts of their school systems, we've been able to avoid most of that difficulty in our state. We have our challenges, but our commitment to compensating our educators, giving them the professional development and mentorship that they need, it matters in the research, and we're proving it here in the state of Washington. So again, thank you, educators, and let's thank lawmakers for being so committed to investing in our educators consistently, as we would hope they would do. Second big priority for us was special education. It's been a whole system effort here, and it was so great to see how bipartisan it was in the legislature. The legislature's added another $365 million over the next 2 years to support our students with disabilities. We know that's not everything still, but big policy steps this year, lifting that cap up to 15%, investing more in inclusionary practices, getting that multiplier that those of us in the education system knows is really the math that drives more money. The legislature stepped up this year. It isn't everything that we think is necessary to totally liberate districts from using their levies to support students with disabilities, but it's an awesome step, and we're going to keep making great progress on this. Behavioral health. This is an area where we collectively as a system, both early learning, but especially K-12 and higher ed, have put a lot of energy in the last several years. As the weight of the world falls increasingly on young people, as they think about their world from a standpoint of gun violence or climate change or economic distress or a global pandemic that was very impactful, students are recognizing the need to get help. And we want to make sure the resources are there. So the legislature's added millions of dollars this year in more behavioral health supports. A lot of that will work through our ESDs, but I would remind everybody that last session they made significant investments in nurses, counselors, school psychs, school-based social workers, and others. They enhanced those investments again. There's another $200 million coming this next year and another $200 million on top of that in the second year of the biennium. So again, when we work together to think about the needs of students and families, and we communicate that well, our legislators, they're listening, they want to solve problems, and it was a tremendous success this year. You know how committed and passionate I have been about feeding students. And thankfully, we've got advocates all over the state who are of like mind, and we've had legislators working really hard on this. This year, 200 more elementary schools will get added to our ability to feed kids when they show up to school. We will not stop until every student who needs a meal can show up to school and confidently know that they're going to get the calories they need for their learning and their success. Another great step this year with more progress to come. This is something we will stay focused on until it is completely addressed by the legislature. Hopefully in the next 2 years, we'll keep pushing as hard as we can. Dual credit. When students are ready to do college level work in high school, I have said for the duration of my time here, you shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for that. Students who are accelerating are still basic ed students. They just happen to be in advanced coursework. The legislature this year, in partnership with higher ed, worked extremely hard to get rid of all of the fees now associated with college and the high school. This is so exciting. When our educators offer college courses in our high school classrooms, no longer need to charge fees to families or students, no more foundation fundraising to try to pick up those fees. Higher education will get paid directly from the legislature to cover those costs. This is so exciting for our state. We'll be a national leader in this regard, and I can't wait to see it develop. Running Start also got additional support. Students can take more classes now without running into a cap, without having to pay tuition when they take too many courses between their high school and their college. So this year, dual credit accelerated, and it's great news for our students and our families. Dual language is another place where our state has been a national leader. Our goal is to have an opportunity in every community for a parent who says, I want my child to go to school and on day one, start becoming a bilingual student, a bilingual learner. We're in like 48 districts now, over 150 schools. It is so exciting what's happening, and the legislature offered more dollars this year to expand those grants. If you are a school district, a parent, a student who's interested in this, make sure your district knows there's more money available to keep building out dual language. It is such a game changer in helping our students be globally competitive, and it's just incredible to see their eyes light up, especially in late elementary school when they realize they're doing something really special. Finally, our last policy area of big significance was the capital budget. Our small rural districts often do not have the resources to build, maintain, and replace their facilities, but every child in the state deserves world-class education. Every student should have great science labs. Every educator and student should be in a building with clean air. Our legislature made a record high investment in our small district modernization program. We're not done with the policy. Our goal is to make sure that every dollar generated from public lands is committed to the communities where those resources are developed. They funded it this year, and in the future, we got to get the policy adopted so it's the permanent law in the state of Washington. But again, great bipartisan work in our state, and our communities will benefit significantly. The students will, and the jobs created from those projects in rural Washington will be awesome. Well, this is the time of year also where we're assessing student learning, and there's been so much attention nationally on the impacts of COVID and our remote learning schedules and the need for students to kind of re-accelerate. We're doing that in our state. We were the only state last year who tested in the fall and the spring. We saw great results. We're seeing great results in DIBELS in our state. But my message is always, we are more than a test, and kids are more than a single exam, but they do help us understand the progress. So let's show them what we got. We're in our testing window right now. People have high expectations that our students are re-accelerating. I know they are, and so do you. So let's get after it, Washington. Let's show the country, let's show our leaders here in Washington State that the passion of our professionals turns into great success for our young people. So that's kind of it on our session. There was actually 100 policy items added to the budget this year, not as significant in most cases as the ones I've described, but what a year, what a complicated year. The work isn't done, and I just remind everyone in the school system, it happens because you've decided to make a career out of this. You've said, I want to help young people develop. When we get that kind of commitment, we want to work really hard for you, to make sure you're successful in your community, to make sure that your students are successful, to make sure families and communities know our public schools are the go-to place. We grew the budget by almost $3 billion this biennial cycle. The work's never done. Our paramount duty as schools, we've got work to do on meals, supporting students with disabilities, capital budgets, and more, but it is a process of bringing partners along, building allies, and helping all of our policymakers understand that when they invest in young people, they are investing in a long-term commitment to Washington's success, and we'll just keep fighting hard for those ideals. Thank you, everyone. Have a great close to your year, and stay tuned for lots more information from OSPI as we get all the mechanics of this budget understood and those resources sent to districts. Take care, everyone.